How's it going, man?
It's going great, Cody. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm
Thank
doing
you so
really
much for
good, man.
having me on today.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Where are you? You're in Tennessee, right?
Yeah, so I'm based out of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. It is the home of some pioneer. He wrestled a bear and he
Daniel Boone.
also wrestled a mountain. Daniel Boone, there you go. It's
Oh,
the
I'm
home
right.
of
I'm just
Daniel
saying
Boone.
something.
Yeah, there you go. And it's also very, very befitting that we're doing grappling there because he also wrestled a bear as a child. I haven't seen a bear there like at all, but the
Mm,
folklore is that he wrestled a bear.
okay. Yeah, I'm just saying. Of course, I'm thinking like um, the football. Tennessee, the university, and the logo of the coon hat, and then that's what made me think of Daniel Boone. I think so. That's why I said Daniel Boone.
I hope
Um,
it's Daniel Boone. If I'm not, I'm gonna make everyone very offended in Lawrenceburg.
have you seen there's that new like series? I think I'm pretty darn sure it's on Netflix. Yeah, American Heroes, I think it's called. And I think there's only
I
4
have not.
episodes. But one of them is I think one of them is Daniel Boone. It's pretty good. I watched it
Oh,
months
let's
back.
go. I'll have to check it out. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Are you from Tennessee?
So I'm not originally from Tennessee. I am originally from Monroe, Louisiana. My family moved to Middle Tennessee in the mid 90s to pastor a church. And I have been in the Nashville area off and on, back and forth to Louisiana since. You might as well call me a Tennessee local at this point because I have been here for more than 10 years in this stint.
Okay, okay. You seem like a Tennessee local. I'm just kidding. What is that?
Yeah, might as well. I volunteer for things.
What, okay. Where is it in proximity to like is it like north, e-
Uh,
west,
so
east,
I
down?
am ex- I am extremely south, and so
Okay.
I'm about maybe an hour and 45 minutes south of Nashville. And so if you jump on Interstate 65 until you get very close to Alabama, that's where I'm at.
Okay, got it, got it, got it. And Tupelo, Mississippi is close. Is that correct?
Relatively close
I don't know why
within
I'm
a
talking
couple
about
hours.
geography here, but
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
relatively. Geography was not my favorite subject because I was probably really poor at it, but it sounds very close.
Okay, okay. It sounds that's a T. Okay. Well, tell me your first and last name, the name of the place, and just tell me like I mean if you even want to give the address you can, but tell me what you guys offer there.
Yeah, so my name is Jordan White. I'm the owner of Pure Jiu Jitsu Academy in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Um, we only do Jiu Jitsu. That's it. We purely do Jiu Jitsu. We are the only Jiu Jitsu gym within a 45-minute to an hour radius. Um, we have been there since January 1st of 2025. We've had some building changes since then, but we've been in the same area within a 5-minute drive of each building. uh, we're honestly there to impact and help better the community through the art of jujitsu. And the main things that I would like to achieve is to give that community and the residents the same benefits that jujitsu provided me over the years.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Um, tell us about like just in case somebody's there and is checking you out. That's why I actually put the state, the city in the titles of all my posts, so that if anybody's local, they can check it out. They can Google and it'll come up. Tell us exactly the times of the classes and like do y'all do like what's the age groups and
Absolutely.
that kind of thing.
S- So, the youngest age group that we offer, we recently just opened up this class in the last 2.5, 3 months, is 5 to 7 year olds. And we do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. It's a 50-minute class. So we end that class at 5:20 p.m. At 5:30 p.m., we have our juniors program, which are for students between the years of 8 and 12 years old. And that runs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 5:30 until 6:25 p.m. From 6:30 until 7:30 p.m., we have our teens and adult program that runs, and that runs Monday through Thursday. at 6:30 p.m. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have a special class that we offer that is at 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. And on Saturdays, we have a 10 a.m. class that is an all levels adult class.
Got it, got it, got it. So no judo, no kickboxing, anything, just yeah,
No,
pure
just
jujitsu.
jujitsu,
It's in the name. Got it. Awesome. Gi and no gi?
gi and no gi. Yes, sir.
Tell
We,
me,
we primary. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
We, I have a love for the gi. It's what I was brought up in. I really, really enjoy no gi. Um, so we primarily do gi. We do offer 2 days a week of no gi, but the rest of the classes are all gi.
Got it, got it. Um, Tell me kind of like your overall philosophy on teaching jujitsu.
When it comes to teaching jujitsu, I'm a dad and I have kids. And so just like my children, they all have to learn the same things. They just all learn them very differently and they learn them at different times. And so with my children, I try to meet them where they're at and encourage them and give them what they need. And so, just like my students, I'm not going to give them all the same piece of meat to eat because they're all at different stages in their jujitsu career. And so, for the people that are brand new, even if we're going over something that is very, very basic, like breaking the guard open. We will go over the basics. I will feed the people that are new with the basics, get them good where they have a coach that's close to them. And then I will go to the more advanced people and give them the gold nuggets of the move to really help them refine that move because they're ready for that type of meat. And so my philosophy is meeting each student where they're at and providing them with what they need while we are there and then also too, while we're not there, if they ever need to reach out to me, as long as it's not 3 in the morning, I am good to go to talk to you and to help coach you through whatever you're processing. As long as I don't get another call at 3 in the morning that's like, "Hey, professor," and I'm like, "Oh, hey, are you okay?" It's like, "Oh, no, no, I'm fine. I was just wondering, like, did you let me pass your guard in class or like, were you really trying?" And it's like, I was trying. Just go back to sleep. And
Did that
so
happen?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so as
That's
long
why
as
you
that
say
doesn't happen
3.
again, we're good to go.
I'm thinking like there's a reason why you're saying the number 3.
Yeah, it's like as long as I don't get a call at 3 in the morning again, we're good to go.
That's funny. Do you have anybody, helping you out with teaching?
I do. I have a friend now. His name is Damon. Uh, Damon is a purple belt, and he moved from Spring Hill, Tennessee, to Pulaski, Tennessee. So we're really close to him, and the only gym that's close to him is about an hour away, other than us. And so he started to visit us, and through visiting us, he decided to join and become a part of what we're doing there in the Lawrenceburg area. And he has a son, and his son's in our kids program. And he just started to ask, like, "Hey, is it okay that I help on the mats?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And he's become a core part of our team in helping our lower ranked members understand and grow. And I feel truly blessed to have him there with us. And he really aligns himself with the culture of jujitsu and growing and bettering yourself and helping develop the people that are underneath you. If we don't develop the people that are underneath us, we'll never have good training partners. And so we have to
Mhm.
develop the generation underneath us. So that way we have people to be able to train with. And hopefully they do the same thing for the people that are underneath them.
Yeah. How did you guys meet?
He reached out to me via Facebook. So
Oh,
I think he just like Facebooked or Googled like gyms close to him. And
yeah.
we didn't do any advertising or anything like that. And we just popped up for him. And he reached out and asked if he could do a trial class and drop in. He mentioned like who his professor was and the school that he was at. And I know all of who they are. And I'm like, absolutely, like, come on down. And we just meshed. Great guy, wonderful family. It's really interesting to me that most people that I meet that work, most people that I meet in jujitsu typically like work in positions that I would never expect. I've met so many people that work like in IT or coding, or they're like a developer in some sense. And for me, it's really, really cool because I've always done things that aren't very technical, that are very like feel or arts based or relational based kind of like positions. And so it's really interesting how their brain works versus how my brain works,
Mm,
because they're very like systematic, a process, and I have always been very feel like, oh well, I can kind of see that this is happening and I can feel them moving on me, and they're like, oh no, they had their hand here and they were moving like this. And so that's one thing with Coach Damon that I really like, is that he's an engineer. He makes like websites and develops apps and stuff. So when we talk about moves and positions, it's very interesting to me because sometimes he illuminates me with something that I never saw. Like I just never even fathomed it because my brain doesn't work that way. And I'm like, that makes so much more sense. That's also something that I love about jujitsu, is that I've been doing jujitsu now for like close to 8 years, and I learn stuff from white belts all the time. It's like,
mm,
it's so interesting to me because they can see or understand some facet of it, you know? But I mean, I remember being a kid and talking to my dad and being like, "Well, I guess dad, if people are willing to lie to themselves, like I guess they'll lie to everybody else and you have to be honest with yourself first." And I'll never forget like my dad looking at me like a kid being like, "Oh my gosh, that is so profound. Like how did you figure that out?" You know? And I feel like it's the same way with white belts and blue belts, is that they do things and it's just because it's what's within them, you know, and they're expressing themselves in an artistic manner because what we are doing is an art form. And it's beautiful to be able to see the mats expose the truth of what lies inside of a person. That's what I love the most about jujitsu, and working with my students and working with coaches at my school or spending time with coaches at other schools, is that you really get to see what is inside a person on the mats. You get to see, do they get frustrated really easily when they're under pressure? Do they panic when they're being pressed against? Do they just brute force their way out of it? Do they just give up and lay there? Do they actually make a plan and start making little movements to be able to get out? Because what I've learned is that the same way that I am on the mat is typically the way that I am everywhere else. And it was jujitsu that really exposed that to me, because I was always so very like, I want in the door. Let me in the door. I'm here. And I would just bang the door open on all the guys at jujitsu. And then I started to learn how to do some coding and programming. And I had a really good friend helping me. And he was like, "You keep trying to just kick the door open. Maybe like knock and see if anyone opens it instead." And then it was like, oh my gosh, that's how I am on the mats. I just force my way through everything. I'm not using any type of movement or telegraphing or like call and response to be able to get where I want to go. I just brute force it. And then I started to watch other people and I'm like, oh my goodness, it seems like this guy here is lacking confidence. He has a great position. He kind of goes for it, but he doesn't commit all the way and he quits. And it's like talking to him. It's like, oh wow, you're going through these things in life. Let's see how jujitsu can compare to your life. And let's see if you can start to conquer this. And so start conquering things in jujitsu. It's like, no, you feel like you don't have it. You feel like it's over. It's not. Just push the rest of the way and you got it. And then they push them like, oh my gosh, the sweep worked. Oh my goodness, the submission worked. I was just quitting before it was finished. And it's
mm.
like, absolutely. Something that I'm about to do is I'm about to try to get into skydiving. That's something that I'm about to do. And
What?
I am yeah, and I'm completely terrified. I'm just gonna be frankly honest. It's just something that I've
Are you as
always wanted to
terrified as I
pursue.
am? I
Oh, brother, I
that
am absolutely terrified,
have you
like,
seen the movie
absolutely
Fall?
terrified.
Have you seen the movie Fall?
No, I have not. I have
Do you know what the
not.
movie Fall is?
No, no, I do not, but now I
Oh,
wanna go
man.
watch it.
So me and my 9-year-old son, Jack, we have this joke, basically a joke, recommending the movie to people.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so, like, I'm terrified of heights. I'm on a ladder, ooh. So anyways, the whole time, my hands were sweating the whole time, bad, uh, the whole time. So what it is these girls, they climb this they're mountain climbers, and they climb
Yeah.
this tower, and they get stuck on the tower, and it's high, 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 high. And the whole movie is them up there on the tower. I don't know, what else to say other than that, but the whole time, yeah, you feel like you're up there.
All
I guess
right.
that's what it is, you feel like you're up there, right? Yeah. My hands are my hands are sweating thinking about it. So are you that afraid of
No,
heights?
I
I would
I am that
never do
afraid.
skydiving.
The only thing that made me recently make the decision and commit, like, I'm fully committed, I am doing it, I'm actually gonna sign up for the course to get my license. I've never done it before, and I'm just gonna go, okay? And, but I was
I'm just
talking
gonna
to a
go to get
friend
my
of mine.
license, and
Yeah,
then
no,
I'll
no,
be
no, I'm
done.
just gonna go do it. Yeah. No, no, I'll still do it after that, but I was talking to a buddy of mine that he has over 3,000 jumps, and he's, like, a very, adrenaline kind of oriented person. And I was talking to his wife, and his wife was like, "Jordan, I'm not an adrenaline person at all. I like to read a book. I like to hike to see a really good view. That is me." And I'm like, "Okay." She was like, "Skydiving is one of the best things that I've ever done in my life because it's like hiking in the clouds and you see a really good view. Is there some adrenaline for a second?" She's like, "Absolutely. Like 0 to 120, there's that adrenaline, but then you kind of stabilize. And it's like the most beautiful thing I've ever done in my life." And so I'm listening to this mom, like as she was like holding her baby. Do you know what I'm saying? Explain this. And I'm like, okay, I wanna try it. Like, I've never heard
Yeah.
anyone explain it like that. I've always heard people like, "Yeah, adrenaline," and so I'm like, "Okay, I wanna conquer this. I have this fear, so I want to try to conquer it. I know that I'm gonna be somewhat safe." Kinda like doing anything in life, skateboarding, running, there's some type of danger that's involved into it. And so I understand that there is a little bit of risk, but I want to overcome that fear. And it's the same reason why I started rock climbing is that I'm afraid of heights. I don't want my daughter to grow up that way, afraid of heights, afraid to go inside of an elevator. And so it's like, okay, I have a friend that rock climbs and he invited us. And it's like, we're going to start doing this. And so we fully jumped in and we've been climbing now for 3 years. And it's been a really good time. And it's really interesting to watch someone go through something that when they look at it, they're like, I can't do this. And throughout the whole process of them going up, they're saying, I can't do this. I want to quit. Let me down, let me down, let me down. And you have a team underneath you saying, you got this. Not only are we here for you if you fall, like you are not going to get hurt, but we're encouraging you to keep going because you don't believe in yourself. But not only do I believe, I know that you can do it. Just go. And so to watch my daughter make it up to the top of this rock face and then to stand there on the very top and to look out and for to see on her face, oh my gosh, I survived, I did it, and I'm okay. And then to come down and then to watch her throughout her life go through challenges and see things and say to herself, well, I've already done hard things. This is hard too, but I know that I can accomplish it because I've experienced hard things and went through.
So let's have you on again after you do your skydiving and what you can
Dude, let's
relate it
do
to
it.
jujitsu. I know it relates. Yeah, tell us how it
Maybe it'll help
relates.
me
We can
smashing
get
better from like mount. When I get in a mount position, hopefully I can like do more pressure.
who knows? Let's just see how it, like, mentally connects, and, yeah, we can get an update on the academy and everything as well. When is that? When are you oh, you don't you're just taking the
So,
class
yeah.
yet? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right now.
Right now, I'm just,
Like
studying up, signing
yeah,
up for the course, and I'm liquidating some of my toys to be able to fund it so that my wife still
okay.
wants to be married to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So skydiving is really expensive. To buy a parachute, you're looking at, like, anywhere between, like, 8 and $12,000. And so, buying my own parachute's gonna be slower than it is gonna be faster. I can feel it already.
So you're selling the academy to skydive one time.
No, 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 I'm selling old sports cars that I have, old hobbies that I have,
Yeah, yeah. When do you
yeah,
think you'll be
goodness.
skydiving if you had to, like, the
Next 30 days. Next 30
really?
days, I'm gonna jump out of a
For
plane.
real?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna
Oh,
say,
yeah.
like,
No, no,
oh,
no, for real.
December.
No, 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 next 30 days. Like, next 30
Okay,
days, I'm
cool.
gonna be hopping out of a plane.
I would
Yeah.
love to have you on in a couple months,
Heck
whatever,
yeah.
yeah.
Dude, I
Well,
would love to. That would be great. Watch, you're gonna do it, and I'm like, I just passed out every time.
yeah, if you have pictures, bring we can put them up as well. Yeah,
Let's
send me
go.
pictures, that kinda anyways, t start back when you started jujitsu. Tell us, like,
Yeah.
why you got into it, why you loved it, that kinda thing, and then kinda lead up to go through the story and lead up to owning the academy. I know
Sweet.
we gotta go in, like, what do we got? I'm cra my brain's not thinking great
Like
today. I don't
15
know, usually
minutes,
10
like
o'clock, I'm good.
15 minutes.
Yeah, let's say 20 minutes, we're good.
Cool. Sweet.
Alright.
So I moved back to Louisiana whenever I was 19 years old. I was going through a tattoo apprenticeship whenever I was there. And my cousin trained jujitsu at the time at a gym, and he was a blue belt. He just stopped training and was telling me I should train. Like it'd be really good for me, but it wasn't working for his schedule. I went and signed up for a month, had a awful experience, and didn't do jujitsu for a long time. I had people come to me and they're like, "Hey, like you should try out this gym," or "Hey, you should like do private lessons with this person. They're really, really nice." And so I didn't do jujitsu for like 8 years, something like
Ju
that.
Now,
And
a lot of people who watch are people who don't train, so can you just hit on really fast what was the bad experience so they can kinda relate?
the bad experience is that the instructor that was there mounted, like, said, "Hey, we're gonna do like hip escape drills," and they mounted on top of me, and I would push off of them to be able to hip escape out. And I guess they were frustrated and said, "Hey, don't touch me to do it." And I'm new. It's like my second class, and I touched him again, and the guy got upset and put me in a guillotine and stood up and yanked on my neck and then did it again and then shoved me to
Really?
the ground and told me if I ever came back that he would curse word kill me. And
Oh,
then
that is
the
not
owner
the
and
norm.
then
Anybody
the
watching,
owner
that
of
is
the
not the
gym
norm in a jujitsu academy.
yeah, it's not the norm. And so then the owner of the gym said that he would have just broke my leg. And that was my experience, and I'm not trying to talk bad about any that, but that was my very first
No, no,
experience,
that's okay, yeah. That
and so and so, I stopped doing it. I rolled with some friends, so I had some friends that went to that gym that they were purple belts, and they had some mats at their house, and so I would go and hang out and, like, wrestle a little bit, but I didn't learn anything. I was just goofing off, hanging out, and so, flash forward, right? Fast forward, there we go. I have a daughter, and my daughter is 3, 3.5, and she's like, "Dad, I wanna do karate, like, that's what I wanna do," and I'm like, "Oh,
yeah.
okay, awesome. We're gonna sign
Kung
you
Fu
up for
Panda,
jujitsu."
yeah, the
Yeah,
movies.
and so I Google, jujitsu, and Gracie Baja is opening up in Spring Hill, Tennessee, and I'm like, "Oh, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Like, I know what Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is. Okay, perfect." And so I go there and I sign up as one of the founding members there. Shout out to my mom because I was a single parent and I was working a full-time job and going to school full time, and she loaned me the money to be able to sign up. And so I wouldn't be doing
Thank you, mom.
jujitsu if it wasn't for my mom, you know? And so I signed up and started taking class. I was a recently quitting smoker. And so I was chewing 2 pieces of the strongest nicotine gum that they had. I was 280 pounds at 5'11, 5'10 and a half. I was pretty portly. And I'll never forget. For 1 year, I was so tired after doing the warm up that I couldn't remember the first move of the night. So we'd go over like 3 different moves or positions, and I would just be so like exhausted from my first like thing that it's like I can't remember. All the other stuff, it was pretty easy because like I had relaxed enough. But so it was just me and my daughter going to jujitsu, meeting people that I'd never met before, people that are into computers, people that own companies, lawyers, doctors, surgeons, and I'm meeting all these people, and I'm like,
Yeah, and
wow,
that usually
I
doesn't happen in social, for adults. We're just gonna, like, I don't know, we hang out with the people from work that we already work with or
yeah.
people who are, like, do similar things. Usually, I think that's what
And they're
happens
interesting too.
if
And
you are
those
able to
people are
hang out with
interesting
anybody
too.
at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Oh,
interesting yeah, I mean, it's because it's a sport. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. And so I started meeting all these interesting people and like getting the ability to have these really cool experiences and go places and then have all these discussions and like it was almost like a weird mentorship for me. Not weird in the sense like it was weird, but like in the sense of like not the common type of mentorship. I was around all of these really good men and around all these really good men that were also very successful in their lives. And that is where I started to understand the way that I act on the mats is the way that I act in life. If I'm lazy on the mats, I'm probably lazy at cleaning my house. I'm probably lazy with my relationship with my friends and family. I'm not proactively doing stuff. So, how can I be more proactive? Whenever I talk to them, I'm like, well, how do you do that? Like, well, I wake up early, and I have a wife and I have kids. And so, but I need me time. So I wake up early and I go work out, before anybody else wakes up. Then I come home and I cook breakfast. And it's like, wow, that's a lot, but that's how you become like refined and successful. So I started to try to pursue that. And I'm still not there. I'm still not there. I'm still trying to pursue whatever is like success or perfection or like what is that for me? I'm still
Yeah,
trying to be the best me that I can be. But I got placed around all of these guys that were trying to be better people, which was so different for me because I was in the tattoo industry for so long that it was like they weren't pursuing that, they were pursuing like today and tomorrow and let's have a lot of fun and let's do cool stuff. But it was very different for me. And so I meet all these people. I start to grow not only on the mats, but off the mats. I start to see the benefits of using my body, even though I became exhausted all the time. And I was like, wow, like I feel better. Wow, I'm losing weight. I'm making these awesome friends that are really, really cool and that are supporting me in this. I need to start cutting away things in my life so that way I can make this better. And so I was like, okay, I got to stop chewing nicotine gum because I know that that's a reason why. Because it's a vasoconstrictant. I know that like that's a reason why I'm having high blood pressure issues. So I started to do stuff like that. Started to change my diet. Started to be around these people that they've already done it. So I had so much help. Started to want a career change in my life. And then I had people from the gym that's like, hey, man, if you need a job while you're going back to school, you can come work for me at my business. And it's like, oh, really? And they're like, I will work with you with your schedule while you're still in school. And it's like, absolutely, no way. And so I
huh,
just started to have all of these amazing connections, and it all stemmed from the mat. And so, what jujitsu did for me is that jujitsu changed my life all the way around. Jujitsu gave me a family. Jujitsu gave me an outlet when I would have a bad day. And like as a single dad, being alone and working and going to school and you're taking care of this kid. And as a parent, you don't truly understand what's going on all the time. And so I would have a bad day and I would come on the mats. And it was like, as soon as I stepped on the mats, the world around me, the sound died. And
yeah,
all I had was me and those people on those mats. And it's so funny. I used to call it like my fortress of solitude with all my friends until like a buddy of mine was like, you understand, like solitude means alone. And I was like, oh, yeah, like I get that now. Like I'm just trying to say, like, all of my problems in the world go away as soon
yeah,
as I
yeah.
step on those mats. And so,
That's the only thing that was gone
yeah,
was like any kind of issues or
yeah, like any
things.
noise from the world or anything that you've put on the back burner that's starting to worry you in your mind, like, oh, I
Mhm.
got to take care of this. Oh, I have this bill or this expense coming up. I would walk on the mats and it was like peace. And it was really interesting for me. And so I just kept pursuing it and pursuing it. And how I ended up with the gym there is that I had the opportunity to buy my own house. And so I was like, I don't want to be a renter forever. And so I ended up purchasing my own house. And where it landed me was like an hour away from my gym. And so I was still traveling up here twice a week to be able to do that. And I was like, man, I wonder if I should start doing privates so that way at least I could train up some dudes here and get some rolls in. And so I started to look at that, and I saw someone post on Facebook in a group, "Hey, is there anyone around here that does any martial arts? I would like to have some privates." And they listed a couple different martial arts. I was like, "Oh, well, I do jujitsu. I'm a brown belt in jujitsu at this point. I would love for you to come over and we can just wrestle. I have mats at my house." And so I started to have people come over and they were doing private lessons and we were just wrestling around. And I just, in my life, got a second job that was like the best thing in the world for me. It started to provide me with some money where it was for me financially like, oh my gosh, like now I have more than like 25 bucks left over at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I have this extra money coming in each month now. What am I gonna do with it? Am I just
And
gonna
about
like
how
pay
old were
off?
you at this point?
Oh, brother, this is within the last 2 years, 2 and a
Mhm.
half years, like, this is, uh this is, like, September of '24. Yeah, this is September of '24, and, I just bought my house, I'm barely paying my bills, and I get this other job that is a part-time gig, and it pays me really well, and I am extremely thankful for it, and I remember thinking to myself, "Am I going to just pay off my debt that I have or do I believe in jujitsu enough to double down? And I'll take every single dime that I have and I'm just gonna buy mats. I'm gonna buy mats. I'm gonna find a place to be able to host that mat space and I'm just gonna start offering classes." And that's exactly what I did, is that I took every dime that I had. I didn't have any money left over at the end of each month. And I invested it in mats. I invested it in gis. I just started investing. And then I opened up and then I had like 25 students, and I am teaching 5 days a week and working the 2 jobs and traveling for the job that I was working at. And I'm just going, going, going. And then more people come, and then more people come. And then you have a bunch of people leave, and then more people come.
Mhm.
And so for me, it's kind of funny. I tell people all the time, like, dude, it's crazy. Like, I have my own gym, and people get something out of it. And not only do they get something out of it technique wise, they get the same things out of it that I was getting out of it. I'll never forget. It's like after I opened up the gym and like the feeling of it was real, settled in. I was talking to my mom, and I'll never forget. I was like, "Do you remember?" Like I remember, like 3, 4 months in, I was talking with you, and I was like, "This jujitsu thing is really cool. Man, I could see myself doing this one day." Like, I really could see myself, like, helping people and, like, teaching them the moves and trying to give them the same things that I'm receiving at 'em. My mom was like, "I do. I remember you saying it because that you just said it and that was it," And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "And now look at what happened." It's like throughout this process of setting goals for something and just, like, run for it, like, go for it, burn your ships. Like if you're going to war and you have to travel to that place to go to war, having an option to leave isn't the option for me. I'm gonna burn my ships. So that's what my wife says. Whenever me and my wife argue, and I'm like, "Hey, I still love you. Like, are we okay? Or should we start to like look other ways?" And she was like, "Honey, I burnt my ships a long time ago. I'm here." And so it's like, okay, like we're fully committed. And so that's the way that I am with the gym, is that I'm fully committed with it. I I'll sell the farm to keep the gym. Like I'll be there to teach those people. What matters to me is the commitment that I've made to my students. And what the one hard lesson that I am having to learn is that I have that commitment for my students. That doesn't mean that my students have to have that same commitment for me.
Mm.
I will pour and invest into every student the same exact amount. Like I will pour and pour and pour. And if one day you don't feel like you're getting the same like stuff that you wanted from this gym and you want to leave, I completely understand, even though it hurts my feelings. Do you know what I'm saying? I want you to be happy and I want you to be fulfilled and I want you to get the same things out of jujitsu that I've gotten out of jujitsu. Even though through my process of jujitsu, there have been times that I wasn't happy where I was at. I loved the people that I got to train with, but I wasn't happy where I was at. And so I burned my ships and I stayed. And because and it might be different for everybody, but I feel like for me at that time it was the best decision for me. And we're brother, we are at that time.
Oh, yeah.
We're at that time.
No, no, you got you did wonderful, man. That's really inspiring, man. I mean, you almost cried.
Oh no,
I
dude, I
could see
did.
how much oh,
No,
man, I
no.
loved it.
I did.
I loved it.
I'm a
Of course, I
I am a
relate,
crier.
we're close to the same age and, so everything you're saying is like, "Oh, yeah, I feel it, man." So, uh, let's wrap it up with this. Anybody who's thinking about jujitsu, what would you tell them about jujitsu? Well, or what do you usually tell them, if they walk in?
When people ask about jujitsu, they're typically like, "Oh, you do jujitsu. Like, what is jujitsu?" And I jokingly say, "Oh man, it's just like rolling around in smelly pajamas. That's what jujitsu is like." And they're like, "No, really, what is it like?" And I'm like, "Well, it is wrestling around in funny looking pajamas. That's what we're doing here. But there's so much more to it than that, that you build a lot of yourself, but not just physically, mentally and emotionally, you build yourself because whenever someone mounts you, you might not ever think, wow, I'm claustrophobic. But whenever they mount you and you can't get out and you feel all that pressure, there's something inside of you that panics sometimes that says, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to die. Let me out, let me out, let me out. And that emotion of fear, do you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like a cancer or a disease. And not only can it affect you and rush through almost every part of your life, that it affects everyone else around you. And so you get to conquer things and you get to be an inspiration to other people as you're doing it. So not only are people mentoring you and helping you, one day that will be your job too. And it'll be something that you'll get to do with honor and pride. It'll be something that's like, I love that I get to help the younger generation grow.
Well said. Perfect, Jordan. Thank you so
I
much
hope
for
so.
your
I hope it
story,
was
bro.
good. No,
You
thank you so
you
much,
you
Cody.
explained everything so well, man, even at that last part. I really appreciate it, Jordan. Let's have you on again after your skydiving thing, and
Let's
we can talk about
go.
how it relates to jujitsu. I
You're
know it
gonna,
will.
Cody, you're gonna be like, how many times did you pass out when you jumped out of the plane? Hopefully, I say only once.
I swear that's my biggest fear. I'm gonna pass out,
No, that's mine. That's mine. That's mine.
But if
Well,
you
let's
pass out,
go.
does your trainer, like, pull the cord for you or something, or
So they also have a device connected. So all parachutes have a device, and I think it's like an AED or something like that. But it's essentially what it is that you set a certain altitude on it that if you don't pull like your cord, it will automatically pull it for you. So let's just
you
say
just
like you're
bump to
free
the ground?
falling, you're free falling. Yeah, you're not just gonna hit the ground. Like it has a machine in there that's gonna say, "Up, he hasn't done it." Boom, and then it pops out. And then I want to say like you're going like 20 miles an hour, whenever you have that full canopy and you're floating down. And so I know that there's ways to be able to make it faster, but if you're just chilling, like 20 miles an hour,
But what I'm wondering is if you are passed out at the very end when you hit the ground, you're just hitting the ground passed out if you're passed out. There's
probably.
nothing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's better
Yeah,
hitting the
hopefully not.
ground at
Yeah.
that than like terminal velocity.
So that's the
You
biggest
know,
risk, I
I'm
think.
not sure if you
It's
ever
just
watched
passing
King of
out.
the Yeah, I'm not sure if you ever watched King of the Hill before, but as long as
Yeah.
I don't end up like Peggy Hill in that skydiving episode,
Oh,
I'm
I'm gonna
happy.
YouTube it. I don't know
Yeah,
that one, so I'm gonna YouTube
you
it.
should YouTube it. You should YouTube it.
Thank you, bro. I hope you have a good day. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Nope. Thank you so much, brother. Have a great day.
All right, see you, buddy. Bye,
See
Jordan.
ya. Bye bye.
Hey, Cole, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. Got the parakeets going over here. Yeah. Hey, calm down.
Bird is the
Get a
word,
little.
dog. Bird is the word.
They never annoy like other people on the podcast, but sometimes they can for whatever. I've already fed them, so just calm down, guys. It's blueberry and lemon. That's a blue one and
Okay.
a yellow one.
Oh, that's
Uh,
fantastic.
tell everybody your first and last name and the name of the place where you guys are, and just talk about the academy, what you guys offer.
Yeah. So my name's Cole Dobbins. I'm in Chlesea, Alabama. I own Cobra Brazilian Jiu Jitsu in Chelsea, and we offer kids and adults Jiu Jitsu. So
We have been trying to talk for weeks now.
man, it's been like 3 weeks, dude.
Yeah. We've been back
It's a
and forth.
crazy
This is a
schedule.
Sunday. We had
It
to
is. It
cram it
is.
into a Sunday.
We did. Yeah. So it's crazy. Life is nuts. I work 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. for a large steel distribution company as an IT worker. I do network engineering by day, and then by
Yeah.
night I teach jiu-jitsu classes. So at 5 o'clock I'm running a kids class. At 6 o'clock I'm running an adult class. Monday, Wednesday gi, Tuesday, Thursday no gi, Saturday open mats if we're not traveling for a tournament. So,
Awesome.
yeah, we stay busy, man. We stay so busy. It's too much fun though, dude. I have a blast doing it.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like if you're in that like if you're in that niche that you love or that zone or that um, it doesn't matter. You don't mind grinding at all.
Not at all,
Um,
man. I've been doing this since like September 2011, I think is when I started. Between August and September 2011, somewhere in there. And I trained and worked full time the entire time I trained. I trained 6 to 7 days a week. I would do 2 a days at one point. So like running the gym at night and then working during the day, it's always been just kind of the rhythm for me. So I quite enjoy it.
mm,
It's a lot. It's a lot. I know it would wear a lot of people down, but it feels like home for me.
mm. What about do you guys offer is it just jujitsu or anything else?
It's just jujitsu. So we opened 3 years ago. We opened in April of 2023, and I started out with nobody in Chelsea's a kind of a smaller town outside of Birmingham, and I started with kids jiu-jitsu and adult jiu-jitsu just at night. It was just me and my wife teaching, still just me and my wife teaching right now. But I had 3 kids start. I had 3 kids quit in the first month. So I pivoted hard. I had a wrestling coach and ran a wrestling coach and a kickboxing class for about a year and a half. And then the kickboxing coach got a different job, and the wrestling coach went a separate way. Kind of went into high school wrestling and wanted to do that more than he wanted to do kind of club wrestling. So we ended up bringing the kids class back in, and so I have nighttime kids classes, daytimes. I have a daytimes kids class too for homeschool kids. It does really well as well. But
Oh, okay.
my wife teaches that one, so she's a brown belt. She also the other owner of the gym, and she runs about a 20 kid daytime class program for homeschool kids, and she's got a lot of
Okay.
competitors that travel and compete, and then I've got probably 10 or 15 at night, and then the other 60-ish members are adults. So
Does the homeschool program like count for their PE class or?
it does. It's really
Yeah,
cool. So like and then she
like I've
got
heard
into
that
a
before. Yeah.
yeah. So it counts as a PE credit. But then we also got in with a co-op here with a local church that is they have they're connected to another homeschool program, and so every semester it's usually on a Monday, she'll go and take some mats to a church, and they have a bunch of different classes that they come on site for on a Monday, and she teaches jujitsu for about an hour there with them. And so they're not members at our school. One of them is, but they're not members at our school. But we've partnered with that co-op as well. So
Mhm.
it's a really cool thing to get into the community, which is kind of a big driving
Yeah.
motive behind me and how I build culture. Is I like to have culture and community first, because without culture and community, you don't have anything. So like jujitsu's there, but like I need people who want to be around other people, who want to help other people, and who want to try to grow together. That's really what I usually look for and try to build out at Cobra BJJ in Chelsea.
Awesome. What about do they come to the gym like every day because it's homeschool, or is it like, is it more than other kids?
I would say they're more consistent than kids in public school.
Mhm.
Meaning like so we have homeschool classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then
Got it.
occasionally we'll do a competition class for the comp kids on Fridays sometimes. But they're usually there. Like if they're showing up 3 days a week, they're usually there. They're 3 days a week. They're consistent. My nighttime class kids, I might go 2 weeks without seeing one of them, and then he'll come and he'll be 4 days a week, right? and then he'll disappear for 3 weeks, and then
Yeah.
he'll come back and he'll be like, so it's just really inconsistent. And I typically see that like with the homeschool kids, they're doing like swim, but they're not doing like baseball, basketball, soccer, football. I don't see some of them do soccer, but I see them more doing kind of, I guess you say off meta sports like swim or like jiu-jitsu, and
Yeah.
less of the like the cheer, the baseball, the softball, the basketball, those kinds of things where they're seasonal. So those, and I've always said that
Uh-huh.
those are my biggest competitors for youth sports is
Yeah, yeah.
baseball, those are the things that I have to battle against to get people in the gym. So
Yeah, I've been thinking about that lately, like how good jujitsu is for homeschool kids because it's kind of like an easy plug-in for the parent. Like because it's year round. So they
hmm
just like plug it in as
yep,
their
yep.
ongoing PE,
Yeah,
whatever they want to call it.
and being homeschool, I think it's a little harder to socialize with kids your age or kids around your age, just because you're not in that public forum, or not
Yeah.
forum, but like that public system, and you're not around hundreds of kids all the time. So like you're at least around a group of consistently of 15 to 20 kids that have helped, kind of grow you socially. Because we show up early, 30 minutes early to class. We'll stay out after an hour and chat and have a good time. That, to me, that's part of building the community aspect of it, is you got to be able to chat folks up and talk to them, get to know
Yeah,
them.
that's
If
true.
you're just training and then gym closes 30 minutes after class, everybody get out. Like it's difficult to get to know people and really like help them out if you need to help them out, or ask for help if you need to ask for help.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, jujitsu is a social sport. Uh,
It is.
well, a lot more more than a lot of other sports, and of course, more than a lot of other martial arts.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it is.
yeah. So
You
for
don't.
like the social aspects for school kids, it works. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty important too for homeschool. I've been training jiu-jitsu for 15 years, so I've been teaching kids for like 14 years. And that's something that I've really, really tried to work to develop, is like developing a strong kids program across the board at the previous schools that I was at. Strong competition, and try to make it feel like it's a sport, but it deserves the same recognition as a sport as, say, your footballs, your baseballs, and your basketballs. You got people that dive headfirst into baseball and they do the seasonal baseball, but then they're doing like fall travel ball. So like they make it a year-round sport. But
Mm.
jujitsu is also a year-round sport. I mean, we can go do a tournament a week if we want to, a tournament every other week, especially for kids. So to me, that's a big deal, to try to make those parents understand that it's not just karate, right? It's not
Yeah,
just we're going
yeah.
to go a couple of
It's
days
not
a week
just
to get.
training.
Yeah,
It's
we're not just going to get like discipline, because I think a lot of folks, at least in
okay. Yeah.
Alabama, associate it with just discipline versus like an
Yes.
actual sport. And that's a battle that I've been trying to combat up here for a long time. So when I was in Tuscaloosa, so long story short, real quick before we dive
Go
off
ahead.
into it,
Yeah.
I taught at two different schools in Tuscaloosa. I've taught at now two different schools in Birmingham, or just outside of Birmingham. The school that I got my black belt under was also a Cobra school in Tuscaloosa, and that's where my coach is. Um, but I took his kids program from 5 kids to about 43 on my last day there.
Oh,
Yeah, we had 43 kids. Almost all of them were competing all the time. I had a little fleet behind me. I had 6 instructors with me. Um, and so like I moved to Birmingham, I'm trying to build that same thing up,
yeah.
8 to 10 years later, trying to figure it out as a 36-year-old instead of a 25-year-old.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
now
yeah.
as a business owner instead of an instructor.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. So you enjoy it. I can see. Can you go
Yeah, I
ahead
have
and
a
start
blast.
as far back as you want and tell us your whole story, how you got into
Yeah,
jujitsu and
yeah,
everything?
it's
Yeah.
a long story, man. Buckle up. I got into jiu-jitsu in August or September, like I said, of 2011. I can't remember the exact date. But I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight in MMA. I'd been watching Anderson Silva. He was a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He specialized in Muay Thai. And that was like, I started like poking at it. Me and my friends would always wrestle in my backyard. And I would always get beat up, and they were always smaller than me. I mean, I'm not a small dude. I'm like 6 foot and 260. I was probably like 220 at the time, but I'm 260 now. I'm not a small guy, and they would always beat me up. And so I I wanted to fight. I was like, I need to get better at this. I need to develop these
Like, what's
skills.
going on?
Yeah. So I was
It's
we
pretty, especially as a kid. You're like, this isn't right.
yeah. So I was 21, or I was 21 at the time. I'm 36 now. And so we were wrestling in the backyard. We were also in a car club called No Limits Customs that did a bunch of charity work in Tuscaloosa. And I ran into my first instructor, a gentleman named Clint McJenkin. He was a purple belt under a system called Wolfpack. So this is 2011, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. There's no black belts. There's 3 purple belts in all of Tuscaloosa. There's just not a lot of jiu-jitsu. So I trained with him. He had a kids program. I would help him teach it. I just dove headfirst into it. I fell in love with it. I knew I wanted to fight at one point or another. But I trained jiu-jitsu. I trained 6 or 7 days a week. I trained as much as I could. I couldn't get enough. And so fast forward to June
So let's pause
2012.
there. What about it? Like, why
Oh
did it,
man,
why was
I
it
don't know.
amazing?
Like it was just something
Just
different
like
that
in your
I'd never
mindset at that
done. It
point,
was
maybe. Yeah.
it was
I know you
something
probably
that
it's
different.
probably evolved over the years, right?
Yeah.
Your thoughts on
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu at that point.
It was captivating. It was, even the technique, if I think back to that time and like I see pictures and some old videos, is like the technique wasn't even close, but just the idea of doing combat sports, the idea of everybody in the room was always happy, always trying to work together. It almost felt like a missing piece. I'd never really felt like I'd gotten, I never found where I wanted to be. I mean, from 16 years old, I'd been exploring. I'd done firefighter explorer program. I'd been an EMT at this point. I played Division 4 competitive paintball, which is way different than what people think it is. Like I'd done quite a few different things to try to test the fields and see where I wanted to go. And jiu-jitsu was that captivation of like, oh, this is cool. Like I have to have more of it. Why is this little 160-pound man who's a purple belt crawling all over me and just choking me at will, and just he's absolutely able to control every aspect of this physical engagement that we're having, and it was also like a bit of a physical fitness thing. It's like I was kind of, dumpy. I was out of shape. I didn't really have any like self-confidence. So like all these folks in this room just lift you up and try to make you feel good and try to help you, encourage you to be better. And that to me was just like way more satisfying and way more motivating than just going and working out at a gym or doing anything else. In my opinion, I think that's probably what 21-year-old Cole would tell everybody. That was really why he fell in love with jiu-jitsu at that age and at that time. So, but the driving goal was to fight in MMA, to climb in a cage. Strike Hard was the local promotion at the time. We had just gotten a athletic commission in Alabama. So I ended up doing that in June of 2012. I'd done like maybe 8 weeks of striking leading up to it. Everything else was just jiu-jitsu. Missed an armbar at the end of the first round, ended up winning by TKO in the second round, which was weird, to win by TKO with very little striking experience. And so
how did that happen?
Man, I walk. You can go find the video on YouTube, dude. I look like a rock'em sock'em robot. I'm just walking and just throwing punches and walking. And I think I just I think he just got tired. Like I had watched some video of a training partner, a longtime training partner who fought him before I fought him, and I knew if I could hit him in the nose repeatedly, he would cover up. He would cover up like this. And so like whenever he covered, I was like, well, I can throw uppercuts, and maybe if I can land this uppercut, he'll drop. And I think I just overwhelmed him.
Yeah, so at that point he was tired as well. And
Yeah,
then he did
yeah,
what
yeah.
you thought he would do. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I probably had no business winning by TKO. If you go back and watch the striking, it's atrocious, but it's still funny. It's a great memory. And then everybody asked me if I was going to climb in the cage again, and I was like, man, I just want to do jiu-jitsu. I started chasing a blue belt. It's a jiu-jitsu hot take, but the only people who say don't chase belts are black belts, and that's because we don't have any belts left to chase. But it's I can elaborate on that more later on. But like I wanted a blue belt, dude. I was hungry. I felt like I'd been training for a year. I was competing a lot, and just wanted to keep going. So I kept pushing the MMA down the road, kept training jiu-jitsu, and finally got my blue belt about a year and 3 months into jiu-jitsu. I got it in November 2012, and then my instructor moved to Colorado and left me with the gym and the bills and the students. So in November of 2012, I was now teaching adults and I was teaching kids. And I had to figure it out. I downloaded videos so this is like iPhone 4, iPhone 5 days, I guess. So they had apps that you could buy that was like Andre Galvao had an app. This was like
Like
before he had
downloading videos.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like
Foreign at this
there was
point.
no BJJ fanatics, and everything on YouTube was not like everybody would talk bad about you if you got on YouTube, but like I had like 3 Kyotera apps, I had like 2 Andre Galvao apps, I had a few other guys, some Spider Guard like specialty like videos, and so like I would go. I was working at a bank as a teller at the time, and on my lunch, and if we weren't busy, I'd have my phone out and I'd have a notebook out. I'm a blue belt. Like I'm not even a blue belt. I shouldn't have had a blue belt at the time, but um, I would watch the videos for hours and I would just write down technique for technique. Like I would write down everything that they said, and then I would go teach it. And for me to learn, like I spent probably a year. That's how I learned at blue belt, which is such an amateur. Well, I don't want to say amateur, but like it's still a novice level idea. Like you don't really understand everything at blue belt like you do, at purple, brown, or black. You just don't get it. So I studied and studied and studied, and it got to a point where my coach at the time, Clint, started sending me the bills and saying, "Hey, can you go pay these bills for the gym?" But he was still getting the ACHs from the member drafts, and I wasn't getting any money. So like that's a whole different story for a whole different day. But like, so we ended up shutting down the gym, and I moved to a place called Headhunters, and that's where I met Curtis Taylor, who is my coach, who owns Cobra BJJ in Tuscaloosa. So Headhunters was the big MMA and CrossFit gym in Tuscaloosa. It was the cream of the crop. It was the produced the most fighters, produced the most CrossFit athletes. Like that was the place to be in Tuscaloosa. And I walked in. I was like, "Hey, I've got 8 or 9 people that are coming with me. We're shutting our gym down. It's just not working. What can we do?" And they gave me an adjusted membership rate for everybody. Most all of them stayed for at least 8 months, and then it dropped down to 2 of us. And then I'm the last one standing that still trains. So, but yeah, so I was at Headhunters. This is, I guess, February of 2014, 13 or 14, I guess. I don't know. The timeline's kind of getting blurry. I walk in and I'm watching the kids program, and the kids are all like, their parents are all doing CrossFit, and the kids are doing dodgeball. Like they're in gis, they've got belts on, but there's no jiu-jitsu. Some of them are like just like throwing each other around and doing arm bars, but the other ones are playing dodgeball. And so I asked Curtis and said, "Hey,
So not like warming up. They're like,
no, that was the whole class."
yeah, okay.
So I asked Curtis, I was like, "Hey man, can I help with the kids program?" And he was like, "Sure, of course. Just go talk to the guy coaching it and see if he wants help." And I asked him.
Yeah, so this is like the kids program, not the adults.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
That's what they were doing
And
with the kids program at the time.
yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, dude, I'd love the help." And so I kind of shadowed him for one class, and then I came into the next class, and he didn't show up. And I was like, I looked at Curtis, and I was like, "Am I teaching it now?" And he was like, "Yeah, I guess so." And so I took over the kids program at Headhunters, and we had 8 kids when I started, and it dropped to like 3, and then it built back up, and then we moved out of Headhunters into our own facility to open up Cobra BJJ in Tuscaloosa, and that's where I really took over like the kids program and built it from basically nothing. That's also where I trained at. I started a morning program for Curtis, so I was teaching at 6 a.m. I was teaching 5:30 to 6:30, I think is what the class time was. I would go to work. I'd get off work. I would go back to the gym and teach kids, and then I would do my class. Like I would do adult class and train. And that was just life from 22 to 27 whenever I got my black belt. 28. Yeah, I was 27. It would be January of 2019 is when I got my black belt. So I'd been 28. So about 7.5 years of just training and competing. I did Fight to Win Pro 10 in New Orleans as a purple belt. I won that. I went out to Las Vegas and competed against Victor Hugo as a brown belt, and he beat the crap out of me. And then I turned around and won the Nogi event. So that was at Master World Jiu-Jitsu Con in 2018, August of 2018. Done multiple IBJJF Atlanta Opens. Competed at ADCC trials in 2023. I made it to the round of 32 before I got eliminated. It's a long competitive career. At one point doing 13 tournaments a year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. It's a lot. My body hates me for it, but it was fun. I've got a
How
lot of
old are you now?
memories.
You're
I'm 36.
now?
I'm
Yeah. Okay.
36. I've got a lot of mat time, and I didn't do it the right way. So I got achy knees, achy shoulders, achy hands, achy ankles. Like
Like
we
Hulk
hurt.
Hogan, we were talking
Yeah,
about the
yeah. We
Just thinking
hurt.
about
We hurt.
everything's
Yeah.
referencing Hogan today. I watched the documentary like last night.
Yeah.
It's good,
Every-
man. It's like four.
I gotta go see it, dude. I gotta go
It's
see
good.
it.
It's good.
But yeah, everything hurts. So like now it's really hard. Well, I guess let me stay on the timeline, dude. I've got the worst ADHD in the world. I'll squirrel off into another tunnel. So like, yeah, we did all that in 2019, and then I changed jobs. So I took a job in Birmingham. Me and my girlfriend at the time decided to move to Gardendale together, which is north of Birmingham. Chlesea is kind of south east of Birmingham. So we moved north of Birmingham.
Why does Alabama have all these English names? I'm thinking,
man, we got a lot of
soccer.
Yeah, we've got a lot of
Birmingham,
like
Chelsea,
Native American style names too, dude. You got like
yeah.
Tallapoosa and like Aniana is another one that's got a crazy name. Yeah, we got some crazy cities.
I bet we just don't like think about it really, like how many cities in the US are named after like cities from other countries or something. It's just not
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, no, you're probably
who knows?
Absolutely correct. So yeah, so 2019, January 2019, I get my black belt. September 2019, I get a job offer in Birmingham. I'm in IT at the time. So I get a job offer from another company in Birmingham. So like, I'm making the move. So I passed my kids class off. My last day there was like 43 kids. It was just a real big, great thing. Filled me with a lot of joy. It's fun to see those kids grow up, and now I see those kids as adults. Like one of them's a firefighter down the road at a big fire department from where I live now, and he's getting married. And I've got another kid she's wrestling at I think it's at Huntington. She's at Huntington, I think. She's in a big wrestling program. She's a 2-time NCAA All-American wrestler, 2-time national high school wrestler. Like she's a killer. She was one of my OG headhunter kids, which is cool to see like come full circle like that. But so we moved to Gardendale, and
I bet
COVID
the kids
hits.
like that name, headhunters.
Oh, they love it, man. They love it, man. And they would the logo was like these rosettes, and they'd put it on the shoulders. And it was like the owner of
Like
Headhunters had pulled. He would pull it from a tribe, some sort of tribe. I think it was like I don't know the whole story, but there's a tribe that they were known for the Headhunters, and whenever you got your first kill, you would get the rosette, and so that was
cool.
That was where he pulled it all from, and it was really cool. So but yeah, so we're in Gardendale. COVID hits. I take my longest stint away from jiu-jitsu, which was 6 months. So right after we moved, we were looking for a place to train. I had friends up here, and I was bouncing from gym to gym, but nothing stable. And so we ended up settling at Gracie Baja with a gentleman named Khalifa Oliveira. Really nice guy. I've known him for 13 or 4, almost my entire jiu-jitsu career. I've known him, and I trained with him a bunch, but he had the most robust competition team at the time. And after talking to my wife, Anna, she had been training for a few years. She was training inconsistently for like a year and a half, I guess, at that point. And so she wanted to compete. I wanted to compete. Her little brother, who was 14, had just moved in with us, and he was training with me before we moved up here. and so he wanted to compete, and so like the
Did
focus
you
then
meet your wife
became
in jiu-jitsu or not?
no, we met
Okay,
otherwise, and then she
got
moved
it.
over into jiu-jitsu. She moved her brother into jiu-jitsu from karate, and he was taking
Okay.
my kids' classes in Tuscaloosa at Cobra. And then she started training in the beginner class. She didn't want to train with me at all, so she started training in the beginner class, which I didn't teach, and I just taught her brother. And then when we moved to Gardendale in January of 2019, January of 2020, she that's when she started like really training a lot more and focusing. And she wanted to compete and she wanted to try it out. And so we kind of trained at Gracie Baja, dove headfirst into that. In August of 2020, we went to an open mat with a friend of mine that owned one of the Gracie Baja schools for his birthday. They had a big open mat, and his name was Frank Roncadori. He owned the Gracie Baja in Greystone, which is just outside of Chelsea, and he ended up asking me to come coach for him. And so I'm working in consulting at the time with IT, and my commission had gotten changed, so I was no longer making commission on my job. So like measuring what he was going to pay me versus what I was going to start making in September of 2020. Um, it wasn't gonna it was gonna be about the same. So I was like, well, this is my chance to go do jiu-jitsu full time. This has been kind of a long-term goal. So Ann
Yeah,
and
of
I talked
course.
about it. I pulled the trigger on it. We did it. And we went from making this is a wild number, and I love this number. We went from making $12,000 a month in because he's a businessman. I mean, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but he's a grade A genius of a businessman. The dude could market anything and sell it to anybody. Like he could sell fire to the devil. Like he was good, and he so he had that aspect of it, and then I had like the culture community approach to jiu-jitsu plus the kids teaching and all the experience and the competition experience, and man, we were a weapon, dude. I can't. We
Mm.
went from doing uh, $12,000 to $13,000 a month in business to doing $32,000 a month in business.
Oh my gosh, what in the
Dude, we
world?
went from having 115 students to having 208 students and an attrition rate of like 62%. Like the
Wow.
attrition rate in jiu-jitsu is usually 75 plus, meaning like 75% of the people that walk through the door quit.
Yeah,
So he could sign anybody. He could get any if he could get them at the table, he could close them, and I could keep them. And dude,
yeah.
we were a tandem that was just untouchable. I mean, that school was doing so well, and I ended up getting into a financial bind because Anna lost her commission in the mortgage industry at the end of the mortgage bust or the mortgage rise in 2020. At the end of 2021, like the mortgage industry was falling off, so she lost all of her commissions, and then so we ended up getting in a bind. I tried to talk to Frank about it, and he and I ended up having a falling out, so I left. Um, I went back into IT, which is where I work now, with the steel distribution company, and I moved over to Pelham and was training at the main Gracie Baja in Pelham. And I told Khalifa, I said, hey, look, I want to go open my own gym. I'm going in Chelsea. I waited a year from when I left Gracie Baja Greystone, which is like 5 miles down the road from me. I waited a year. At the end of the year, I spun it up. I cashed out a 401k. I cashed out $40,000, paid my first rent, bought $15,000 worth of mats. Me and about 10 of my friends and students filed in on a Friday night, and we had the place ready to go on Monday.
Mm.
We built it all. I mean, I had folks coming up from Tuscaloosa. My coach, Kurt, he came up from Tuscaloosa. We laid the mats, we put the border down, we painted the walls, we put a logo up. We had a friend that came in and stenciled the logo with a projector, and then she hand painted the logo on the wall. So we got this big, like, I don't know, it's probably like 10 foot by 10 foot logo on the
Mhm.
wall. And yeah, it turned out like it was a dream come true, man. It was the most scary, most satisfying moment of jujitsu that I
Yeah.
think I'd ever had. It's just having a realization that I have a school now and I'm going to be in charge of people, but like to also have the community around me at large. You know, Kurt's coach, his name is Eddie. He's in Dallas, Texas. He owns the Cobra branding. To have him supporting me, to have,
Mm.
everybody in Tuscaloosa supporting me, people who I'd competed against or trained with over the years reaching out, like congratulating me for opening a gym. Um, and we launched it, man, and it was negative for 3 months, meaning like I was having to come out of pocket to pay bills, and it's been positive ever since, and it's only grown. And we've got a great group of kids, we've got a great group of adults, we have a really good community. I can't talk good enough about the community and the culture that we have in the room, and how well they handle everything, and how well they represent kind of the idea that I wanted to bring to the Chlesea community. And it's been great, man. It's been so good.
So you
And then
forged your way to, yeah, being able to do it,
yeah,
quite
yeah, I
full
did.
time, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to partner with anybody. I'm very
Um,
particular about things. It's not that I'm like overly controlling, but like when I have an
mm,
idea or a vision, like I want it to kind of go in a certain direction, and if it's not, like it'll start to frustrate me. So like
yeah,
when we went this way, it was like, all right, like these are the non-negotiables, right? Like the culture has to be this way, right? The community has to be like, this is what we're trying to achieve, and this is exactly, if we get it to this point, then it will go there.
yeah,
And so like one of my philosophies is like, not even philosophy. One of my ideas about how this approach is like, invest in the people who invested in you the most. So like I'm I've got purple, brown, and black belts that have trained with me that since I opened the doors, and I dump
mm,
everything into them. And my thing is like those guys, they dump into my white belts. Yes, I get to see my white belts, and I get to train with my white belts, and I try to help my white belts, but there's a level of intimidation that comes when you first start jiu-jitsu, talking to a black belt or trying to like have a conversation, or like like a
like a
uh,
complete relaxed
yeah,
conversation.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
gonna
like,
always tell them
yeah,
what you think they want to hear, and so like, but you'll go tell this blue belt or this purple belt, what you
yeah,
actually feel and what you're struggling with, and so like, I lean on those guys to like, help me guide my newer folks, and
yeah.
so like, I dump into those guys. I dump
Have
into
that more
my
efficient conversation, yeah,
yeah,
just
yeah,
because that's
yeah.
just natural human
Because
nature, yeah.
they'll be more relaxed, because it's not coach, right? It's not this guy that we've kind of lifted up on a pedestal. And that was another thing that I was very adamant about when we opened, is a lot of people look and classify black belts in this like quasi god tier deity position that's not real. And like, I'm a human too. Like, I make mistakes too. Like, we're all human. We're all working to get better together. And that's something that I never wanted to allow happen in the gym. Is I never wanted anybody to
Mhm.
be to push me up on this like unrealistic Chuck Norris style pedestal,
Yeah,
where things like that. It's like, we're all just human. We're all just out here grinding together, and we're all
and
just
there's thousands
here
of
to
black belts
support.
in the world.
There are like you throw a stone down the road now, and in Birmingham you've got 30 or 40 black belts. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Not
it's
that it
not.
doesn't mean anything, no one's saying that, but let's
Yeah,
keep it in
yeah, yeah,
perspective,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly. But
I
also,
think
it
it's
doesn't
hard
give
for
you
them to keep
this.
it in perspective because they just
It
haven't
is.
they're not there, you know?
Yeah,
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 so it's
and it takes a long time. Like, it seems unattainable when you're a white belt to go, oh, one day I'll be a black belt. But then you look at the statistics.
yeah.
Put put one in 100 people is going to make it. 100 people start, one of them will make it to black belt. Like, that's a crazy statistic. And it's just it's not easy. It's not easy to make it to black belt. It's not easy to start jiu-jitsu, and it's not easy to change gyms or quit jiu-jitsu and start back. Like, all those
Mhm.
things becomes more difficult. Walking through the door is the easiest part the first time. Quitting and coming back is the hardest thing you'll ever do. So
Yeah, most people say the opposite way, but I understand what you're saying, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's just, like, different,
because
I mean, it's all hard. Yeah,
it is hard. It is
it's
hard, but
yeah,
you just end up battling those headspace demons of, oh, well, I was like, it's the comparison to the thief of joy kind of situation. It's like, oh, well, I was better than this guy, but he's better than me now. I don't want to go in and get beat up by
yeah.
these guys I used to like. It's
So
all
all
things
these,
like
like,
that. It's just headspace games, man. If
yeah.
that's the biggest battle.
I
That's
understand
the
what you
biggest
mean.
battle.
What's jujitsu been for you internally, over these past many years now?
Man, I had some anger issues when I was younger, and I had some, I couldn't center
Because the
myself
little guys were
down.
beating you up?
Yeah, yeah, that was it, dude. The little dude's beating me up, man. But no, I couldn't. Like, I'd always had like anger issues. I mean, I was a
Mhm.
I'd always struggled with the stress battles and like under stress, not being able to function well and making emotional decisions and things like that. And that's just not something you can do in jiu-jitsu. You get stressed in jiu-jitsu, you can't make an emotional decision, because if you make an emotional decision, you get subbed. I mean, you look at that like if we call a choke a kill and a a joint lock a break, right? Like if you get emotional, make an emotional decision, you either die or you break a limb. I
Mm,
mean, you have to learn to make logical decisions, and you have to look at the whole picture. You can't just look at what's right here in front of you. You have to see the entire picture, because what's right in front of you might be a trap. If you're depending on what level of player you're going against in jiu-jitsu. So like for me, it was about like keeping this self-centered and like really finding this level of self-control. And I mean, there's discipline and life lessons and everything that come with jiu-jitsu, but like just doing combat sports, it brings a different approach. It brings it, you see the world through a different set of goggles. And it's not this
sure.
like lens of I can beat everybody up. It's this lens of like I have control over myself. And
Okay.
that's something that's super, super difficult, I think, to attain. And it's something that jiu-jitsu's kind of really, really helped me with is a lot of self-control, a lot of things like that. So it's a lot of life lessons learned the hard way in jiu-jitsu. I was never good at jiu-jitsu. I always had to bang my head through a wall to learn it. I never really understood it. So um, once I got to a point where I did understand it, it's been fun.
What about when a parent comes to you with a kid, if they asked you what can jujitsu do for them, what would you say, for a kid?
Man, for a kid, it's going to teach life lessons, but I think the biggest life lesson that it teaches children, especially the current generation of children we have, is the resiliency. I don't think very many kids that are resilient by nature. And so
Yeah.
like it's hard. It's hard to walk into a room and get beat up. It's not easy. Um and little Timmy's going to want to quit jiu-jitsu because he's getting beat up by this 10-year-old girl who's been training since she was 4. Like that's tough. That's a tough pill to swallow when you're 8 years old. But if you keep showing up and you keep training, you're going to be that person that's helping the new kid or that's beating up on the new kid. Like you're going to get to the point where you have that confidence and you have that resiliency and you have that grit to have to face these level of challenges that are just hard. Jiu-jitsu's hard. It's not easy. I don't know why it's called the gentle art at all. There's nothing gentle about
Well, I guess
it.
it being hard, allows you to finally be gentle with it, or,
Yeah,
at least
yeah, yeah.
mentally, yeah.
I'm sure there's
But yeah,
a
yeah,
I'm
there's
sure there's
like
a proverb about it
I
somewhere.
guess like, kids like being resilient. I mean, of course we all learn to be resilient and to different degrees as we get older, right? But I
Yeah.
guess jujitsu can fast track that, right?
It can, it can. I guess the like seeing kids that like I have some kids right now that they train 1 day a week. I told you, my nighttime kids classes, they're kind of inconsistent. I have some kids that when they get subbed, they struggle with win loss, right? Like 'cause they look at everything like a win loss ratio instead of learning or uh, 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 skill development, right? So like,
Um,
I only do 5 belts for kids. A lot of people do the 12 belt system where you have the gray white, the gray black, the yellow white, the yellow black. I do just the solid colors, and I don't do
uh,
any stripes. In my experience, especially when I was at Gracie Baja, and we had to do so many stripes per attendance level.
mm,
So if you showed up to 8 classes, you got a stripe. That was in the book. That's how I was forced to do it. I didn't really like it, but that was how I was forced to do it. So, um, and it's not to discredit their skills. They have a lot of good competitors that are kids. But that's just how they help encourage kids. To me, that
sure.
made kids fight over the thing that their focus was not on skill development. Their focus was on where they got to stand in line and who they were in front of and who they had like authority over, I guess, even though in reality none of these kids had authority over anybody.
Yeah,
Um
like it
they
could become that, yeah,
Yeah,
or it did in a lot of
it
cases.
became this like tiered, like elitist system that we were inadvertently teaching kids. Like it wasn't like
Yeah.
us like we wanted to. And so like when I saw that, because I didn't do that in Tuscaloosa, but I did do the 12 system um belt system in Tuscaloosa. So I did all the gray whites, the grays, the gray blacks. So for me, and when I opened up Chlesea, I was like, I don't want to do that. I want these kids to focus on getting better at jiu-jitsu, right? I don't want them to fight over places. I don't even want them to care about what belt ties their gi together, right? Like I want these kids to focus on skill development. So anyways, back to the two kids, those two kids focus on win-losses instead of skill development or like progression or like what they're doing good. And they're making leaps and bounds. Like, I mean, every time they train consistently, I see huge increases in how well they train, how well they roll, like how, like they make good decisions. Like I'm seeing them grow, but like they get subbed by somebody who trains consistently, especially if like one of my homeschoolers comes up to my night class for a day or two, right? And those kids are every 2 or 3 days a week, they're in there
Yeah.
training, and they're just machines, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so they come in and like they get
'Cause that's
handled.
their PE, that's their
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
reset.
And so
It's
they
the
come in
recess, yeah.
and yeah, and they get handled and they get really, really upset. Like they get almost, unconsolable. I've gotten to a point where I can console them down, but like they struggle with it. And so I think building that level of, hey, I can take a failure on the chin and keep moving forward level of resistance or resiliency as a child is just, I think that's invaluable. I think that's a lesson that the earlier you learn it, the better off you're going to be when you turn 36 and,
Sure.
you're deciding to
So
open a gym and dive off into entrepreneurship and see how many failures you could take on the chin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess life is all about that anyways, right? Just
I
like
think
learning the
so.
hard way in so many
It is.
ways, yeah.
I
So,
think so.
to wrap it up, what would you like to tell your community there in Chelsea?
Man,
Like the
I'll
people that
tell
go there or, anybody that's
Man,
involved in the community.
my students are the best students in the world, and I'm sure there's every coach in the world that says that. But I love these guys to death. They're my friends. They're they. Uh, I die. I've been in jujitsu so long and it's consumed my life to an extent where like I don't have a whole lot of friends that don't train.
Yeah.
The two guys that used to beat me up were my best friends, and after about 3 months of training and every Tuesday or Thursday texting me wanting to hang out, and I'm like, no, I got to go to jujitsu. Like they kind of fizzled away, and that's my fault. That's not their fault, but
Mm.
like like it's just all my friends are in jujitsu, and like this gym is life for me. This gym is, I don't want to say it's my identity, but it kind of is, this is, all these people, I care so deeply about all these people that train with me. And, I only want the best for them and everybody in the jiu-jitsu community. I want everybody to succeed. So, I love these guys. I'm super proud of these guys. I'm super proud of where we are as a gym, as a competition team. And we're not done though. We've got a long way to go. And I'm just proud of these guys, man. And I appreciate everything that you've done. I know it was tough to get on to this call together, and we were trying to schedule it up for a few weeks, but I appreciate your time. And
Yeah, for sure, man.
yeah,
I'm glad. I love talking to you, buddy. I'd love for you to be on again. We can like touch base again in like several months or so. Thank
yeah,
you
dude.
for your story and your persistence. It seems like I think you're a big community guy. It really sounds like, and that's
I
what you love
am.
the most about it. Yeah,
It
and you
is.
love seeing the kids grow.
That's it.
So I can see where like you had to really really push to get into that space where you're doing it kind of like full time, and not only that, but you're also able to like um, run the place the way you want it to be run. So that's really
Yeah.
cool, man. That's a you've accomplished something. So congrats,
Yeah,
buddy.
and
Yeah.
I do a handful of like comp classes. I used to have this thing called the Crucible that I did where I'd bring in kids from all over the southeastern region. I've got kids from Atos in Atlanta that I've invested in that I have a lot of time in. I've got kids from Spartan and Homewood. They're a big like 900 student facility here in Birmingham. I try to build like not just it's not just us. It's not just Cobra versus 10th Planet versus Gracie Baja versus, insert whatever gym here. It's not that. It's this community is too small to fight each other. It's us versus like, hey, let's go work together and let's go win and show that Alabama Jiu-Jitsu can live on the main stage, on the international stage. And let's go be a place. When I set out to open Cobra BJJ in Chelsea, I want it to be a destination jiu-jitsu spot. I want people to want to drive here and train here. So like when I run those, you got a 9-year-old, man. I got kids programs. If y'all ever want to venture up here and and try it out and hang out with us one weekend. Make an adventure out
Yeah,
of it,
I
dude.
got
You
I
guys are
got
always
like 30
welcome.
places I'm gonna be visiting every time I
Yeah,
go on a
yeah.
vacation. Like,
You gotta
maybe
go.
like
Yeah,
7 on one vacation.
that's it, dude.
Like,
That's
but
it.
like when
That's
I
it.
say like we will, for sure we will. We'll stop
For
by.
sure.
We'll
Yeah, yeah. If
at
you're
least
ever,
stop by and like check out the place. Maybe even do like a video shout out or
yeah,
something.
yeah, dude, do it, and let's do another one of these in a handful of months or a year or something, and see where we're
Yeah,
at, dude. I'd
might
love
be
to do
have
that.
some other stuff going on, and yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. That'd be fun,
cool,
dude.
dude.
Well, I hope you have a good Sunday, bro. Thank you so much for taking your time.
Yeah, dude. Thank you,
We
man. It
only
was a lot
heard
of fun.
the dogs like twice just then, like yeah.
Yeah, I heard one of
So
them
they're
whining
good.
just a second ago.
All right.
Man,
I'll
that's
talk to you
awesome.
soon, bro. Thank you so much,
Hey,
buddy.
yeah. Take care, brother.
All right. Peace, bud.